NBA head coach Joe Mazzulla says he wants to become a Catholic deacon. Archaeologists discover an ancient tablet in Jerusalem that confirms the Bible. And Türkiye has been labeling Christians as national security threats and expelling them from the country. All this and more brought to you today by Church Headlines. Hello and welcome to Church Headlines, your regular Catholic news recap. I'm Brother Darius Lawrence. Let's dive right in. The Boston Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla recently made headlines off the court, revealing that he's thinking about becoming a Catholic permanent deacon. In an interview on the Dominican Friars Godsplaining podcast, the 36-year-old NBA champion coach was asked what his next professional goal was. Father Kress, the interviewer, said he was expecting him to respond with something like, "I hope to win another NBA championship," or "I'd like to coach the U.S. Olympic team." But Coach Mazzulla said that he had just become eligible to be a deacon and that he has always wanted to be one. Mazzulla is a devout Catholic who has said that his faith is the center of his life and identity. He's also an incredibly successful NBA coach with the highest winning percentage of any coach in NBA history with over 200 games coached. In Türkiye, dozens of Christian leaders and missionaries have been expelled or denied visa renewals under claims of being quote-unquote national security threats. Human rights groups say that the government has quietly used security classifications to justify these removals, often targeting foreign priests, pastors, and longtime residents who have lived peacefully in the country for decades. Church observers warn that this tactic amounts to religious discrimination in disguise, effectively reducing Christian presence in a nation where Christianity once flourished. The Alliance Defending Freedom, a legal organization that seeks to protect religious freedom throughout the world, is currently supporting over 30 legal cases of Christians who are challenging the bans before the European Court of Human Rights and the Turkish courts. Most people would probably assume that parents go to Mass more than their kids do. But a surprising new study by the Barna Group shows that young Americans are attending religious services more than their parents, a sharp reversal of decades-long trends towards secularization. The research showed that millennials and Gen Z members now attend church 1.9 weekends a month on average, while baby boomers average just 1.4 attendances per month. The difference may be slight, but for years, sociologists and church leaders have worried that Christianity in the US might be entering into decline. The new data, however, seems to be a sign that there is a religious reawakening happening among American youth. My friends, we'd be really interested in knowing what you think about this week's stories. Don't hesitate to take a few moments to write something down in the comments section. As a thank you, here's a picture of a meerkat. Pope Leo XIV and King Charles just made history in a joint prayer service in the Vatican Sistine Chapel. This is the first time a reigning British monarch and a pope have prayed side by side since Henry VIII split the English Church from Catholicism 500 years ago. Before the prayer service, King Charles and Queen Camilla had a private meeting with the Pope in the Apostolic Palace. The meeting focused on fighting poverty, promoting ecumenical dialogue, and environmental protection. Great emphasis was placed as well on seeking to collaborate to promote peace and security in the world in the face of the current global challenges. In India, the Supreme Court has openly challenged one of the nation's controversial anti-conversion laws. The court finds it hard to justify how such legislation aligns with the country's secular constitution. In 2021, the state of Uttar Pradesh passed an anti-conversion law introduced by the Hindu nationalist government. The law has been disproportionately used as a discriminatory measure against Christians and Muslims by radical Hindu nationalists. Now, just to be clear, the Indian Supreme Court has not yet made a final decision about the legality of anti-conversion laws, but its remarks reaffirm that every citizen has the right to freely choose and practice their religion without coercion. Religious liberty advocates hailed the moment as an important defense of freedom of thought, belief, and worship. So normally I make a point to share with you all the most important international stories about the church. But every once in a while, I hope that you'll forgive me for sneaking in a personal story or two as well. Not that long ago, I was blessed with the opportunity to acolyte in a Mass for Pope Leo. Before the Mass, my legionary brothers and I were able to greet the Pope personally and share a few words. You only have like 5 seconds, so I figured I'd shoot my shot, and since the Pope is an American, I invited him to come to celebrate Thanksgiving at my seminary. I doubt he'll be able to come, but it's at least worth a try. The Mass we acolyted at was the opening of the Jubilee for the world of education, but before the ceremony, the Pope signed his second apostolic letter called Drawing New Maps of Hope. The letter encourages us to find ways to help millions of children who still lack access to basic education because of war, migration, and poverty. In what scientists are calling a once-in-a-generation find, archaeologists in Jerusalem uncovered a 2,700-year-old cuneiform tablet near the Temple Mount. This is the first time that we found an archaeological artifact with correspondence between the Kingdom of Judah and the Assyrian Kingdom. Now you might be wondering, why is this so important? Well, it's important because it confirms the historical value of the Old Testament. Experts say the tablet most likely dates back to the reign of King Hezekiah, Manasseh, or Josiah. The Bible says in the second book of Kings, chapter 18, that Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, invaded the king of Judah, making it a vassal state and demanding tribute. And the inscription on the tablet that was just found confirms this. It demands to know the status of a late payment of the kingdom of Judah to the Assyrians. So that means we have further archaeological evidence for the biblical story. Archbishop Timothy Broglio, head of the Archdiocese for the Military Services, has sharply criticized the U.S. Army's decision to cancel chaplaincy and religious support contracts, saying it threatens the spiritual well-being of Catholic Army members. The U.S. Army decision canceled contracts for religious educators, administrators, and musicians, among others. Archbishop Broglio pointed out that the decision disproportionately harms Catholics, since out of the 2,500 Army chaplains, only 137 of them are Catholic priests. So less than 5.5% of Army chaplains are Catholic, even though 20% of Army soldiers are Catholic. This means that these few Catholic chaplains need all the support they can get for their ministry. As a result of Archbishop Broglio's objection, the Army has said that religious support contracts will be re-examined. And finally, a little fun fact. Do you know in which country the oldest Catholic seminary in Asia is? It's not China, it's not Japan, it's actually Malaysia. The General College for Priestly Formation in Penang, Malaysia is now celebrating its 360th anniversary. It was founded in 1665 by members of the Society of Foreign Missions of Paris. Its long history reflects both the endurance of the faith in Asia and the missionary zeal that continues to inspire young vocations today. And that's it for this week's edition of Church Headlines. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. God bless.